for the presentation of the colors by the Los Angeles Police Department Honor Guard, the national anthem sung by Officer Edwin Rocha, and the invocation by Father Michael Cooper.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening. Tonight is so important because God gives us the great ability to recall and to remember. And tonight's event is all about who we are as a department, the history that we have, and the history that we share. So let's bow our heads and pray for God's blessing. Father in heaven, we gather here tonight humbly, coming before you, seeking your divine guidance and blessing for the success of this event. We know that success is not measured solely by outward achievements, but also by love, unity, and the purpose that we share. Father, we ask your blessing upon Jordan, Errol, and Christine, whom we honor this night. We give thanks for their support to the museum's mission, to the LAPD, and to the community they serve. They are truly blessings to us. We ask a special blessing upon Erica and her staff, who maintain our history so wonderfully. Lastly, Father, we ask you to bless Chief Moore, our command staff, and all the men and women of the LAPD. Continue to protect them, to guide them, and most importantly, to bring them home safely each night. We ask this prayer in your most holy name. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's host has an extensive television and film career, from the ABC series Mixed-ish, HBO's Emmy-winning comedy Veep, and recurring roles on The Good Fight, Chicago Fire, the PBS miniseries Mercy Street, and Small Crimes. Plus, films such as Universal's Blockers, Tammy, and classic cult comedies such as Office Space, Pineapple Express, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, and Dodgeball. Please welcome tonight's host, the star of NCIS, Mr. Gary Cole.
Good evening. Thank you. I am very, very happy to be here tonight, very honored. This has got to be the safest place in town to be, so let's get on with it. Jack Webb, who I grew up watching, was revered across the country. Dragnet's Joe Friday, Adam 12, Emergency. He made sure that what someone saw on the big or small screen about the LAPD was the truth. Although he left us early, his legacy remains, and that is the reason that these awards are presented annually in his honor. This event, as most of you know, is to expand the awareness of the Los Angeles Police Museum, paying tribute to the storied and proud history of the Los Angeles Police Department. And it is also a fundraiser to allow the museum to maintain and keep expanding its amazing collections, including artifacts from the Onion Fields case and the North Hollywood shootout. And if you haven't checked it out, you gotta check it out. It's terrific. And the displays they're remarkable. They are the what I like to call the real deal. And there are a lot of people in this room who are also the real deal. You know, when I go to work on our show, I wear a badge, but it's handed to me by the prop guy. And there are men and women in here who lay it on the line every day. And I just want to say, as a 30-year LA resident, thank you for what you do. Before we begin our program, we want to take a few moments to introduce several guests who came out tonight to show their support. First, LAPD's top cop, Chief Michael Moore. And LAPD's interim chief, Dominic Choi. Also from the LAPD command staff, Deputy Chief Alan Hamilton, Deputy Chief Ruby Flores, Deputy Chief Imada Tinagrides, Deputy Chief Mark Reyna, Deputy Chief Donald Graham, Deputy Chief Gerald Woodyard, former Assistant Chief Sandy Jo MacArthur, and I've been practicing this one all day because it's a lot of syllables, Lieutenant Craig Lally, President of the LA Police Protective League. Now here we go. 5 of this year's LAPD Medal of Valor recipients. And let's ask them all to stand and be acknowledged for their service. Police Officer Cody MacArthur. Sergeant Antonio Martin. Police Officer Gabriel Ribadello. Police Officer John Carlisle. Police Officer Christopher Kleibert. Also retired LA County Sheriff Jim McConnell. Chief of Beverly Hills Police Department Mark Stainbrook. Chief of Santa Monica Police Department Ramon Batista. And tonight's honorees, Christine Devine, Fox 11 News. Jordan L. Kaplan, President of Douglas Emmett. Dr. Errol Southers, President, LA Police Commission, and Associate Senior VP at USC. Special guest, and he probably won't remember this, but we wound up in the same movie together 20 years ago called I Spy. Boxing icon Sugar Ray Leonard. And Captain Ann Young, LAPD retired. A few of our civic leaders from the LA City Council, Tracy Park and Kevin DeLeon, Honorable Heidi Feldstein Soto, LA City Attorney State Senator Bob Archuleta, retired Superior Court Judge Lance Ito, current Superior Court Judge Deborah Archuleta, Deputy Mayor Brian Williams. And from 9/11 and the Rookie, Michelle Bernard. And from Quantum Leap and Star Wars, Adria Zev. And to probably the most important person in the room, a very special lady who has recently celebrated her 104th, yes, that's right, 104th birthday. Please say hello to the widow of Jack Webb, Mrs. Opal Webb. Glad you're here, Opal. What's the secret? We're on for later, right? All right. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Now let's get on with our program. For a museum to run successfully and achieve its goals, it needs to have a great team in place. And it's my pleasure to introduce the chairman of the board of the Los Angeles Police Museum, retired LAPD Sergeant Bob Alaniz.
Good evening, everyone. I'm honored to serve the Los Angeles Police Museum as the board chair. And on behalf of that board, I want to welcome you to the 27th Annual Jack Webb Awards. And I hope you enjoy this wonderful evening. First and foremost, I have to thank our terrific host, Gary Cole, and for him being with us tonight. Now, I want to also thank our fellow board members for their dedication to the museum. And I'd like to ask them to stand, please, and be recognized. So I can't see past these lights. In addition, I want to recognize and thank the museum staff and the volunteers for all their hard work. You've seen them running around tonight, throughout tonight and throughout the year, and this event couldn't be made possible without them. Our success has truly also, keenly, been successful by the dedication of Chief Moore. I want to thank him personally for his absolute commitment to the museum and for his interest in preserving the history of the Los Angeles Police Department. Thank you, Chief Moore. Tonight, we honor three outstanding individuals who are passionate about their community. They're dedicated to law enforcement and working with our youth. As you learn of their efforts tonight, may you be inspired as I am to serve as they do. Looking at the audience tonight, I am humbled by the presence of the great leadership of our city and very thankful for their support to the museum, to the mayor, our Mayor Bass, our current leadership, and our past leaderships that are here. Thank you for being here tonight and supporting the museum. I also thank all of you for contributing to tonight's event, and please, when we do the auctions, be generous. We had such amazing support this year's Gala, and you'll see from all the names of the program on the screen, but I want to acknowledge a few who went above and beyond for tonight. Our dinner hosts, Jamie and Andrew Schwarzberg, Jordan Kaplan, Kenneth Panzer, Douglas Emmett, Mindy and John Gray, McNicholas and McNicholas, Steve and Barbara Layton, Kennedy Wilson, Manny Brothers, and the Los Angeles Police Museum, and many, many more. Thank you so much for your support for the museum. And like I said, you'll see their names scrolled tonight. And I also want to thank Cher Lilico and her team from Proper Image. This fabulous event wouldn't be possible without her dedication and her beautiful talents to putting on a great event. Finally, I want to introduce our Executive Director, Erica Ades, and thank her for her hard work and improving the museum's image, strengthening our partnership with the department and the community. With that, Erica, where are you? Ms. Arcus.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I want to say hello to every one of you who are incredible friends of the museum. You are our cherished supporters and our dear friends. Tonight, it's an absolute honor to stand before you as the executive director of such an iconic and historic institution. As the executive director of this historical institution, I want us to know that we're gathering to celebrate something a little bit bigger than us. And we're also paying homage to a legacy of courage, dedication, and excellence that defines the Los Angeles Police Department. Our museum is not just a repository of artifacts and stories. It's a living testament to the bravery and the service of those who have worn the badge and those who continue to create history as current LAPD officers. Our museum is a place where history actually breathes. It's also a place where we hope to inspire future generations to uphold the values of integrity, sacrifice, and community. This evening is particularly poignant as we reflect on the journey we've embarked upon together over the past year. A year marked by challenges as a museum, and our resilience and our achievements have been this true earmark of what we've accomplished. And through our trials, our mission has never wavered. We're here to preserve, to educate, and to inspire. And as we steer the ship in the direction of creating strategic initiatives for the future, we are making a concerted effort aimed at enhancing community engagement, diversifying our funding, and innovating our exhibits. And rest assured, as executive director, it is my commitment to make sure that these plans are not just plans on paper. They are commitments, and they are commitments we make every day to ensure that the stories of our officers and their steadfast spirit are shared with our communities far and wide. Our museum could not bring any of these visions to reality without the unshakable commitment of whom I refer to as our tiny but mighty staff. Shia Luna is our museum coordinator and our team player, who is malleable to the fast-moving train for our diverse projects here in our museum. Seth Ombre, our operations coordinator, although new to our museum, is the friendly face that you see when you enter the museum, and he also handles all things infrastructure to our 100-year-old building. Finally, Cynthia Jimenez, our events manager, who has grown exponentially in her role at the museum and has elevated the museum's presence with thoughtful community engagement, projects, and a social media prowess that has grown our following by the thousands in 2023. If I may please embarrass my staff to wave their hands and please be acknowledged. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge our incredible volunteers, whom I also want to raise their hands and be acknowledged. They make our operations a success with their unwavering dedication and knowledge of the Los Angeles Police Department. Tonight, as we honor our extraordinary individuals who have exemplified LAPD's values, we are reminded that values-driven leadership is what accelerates success and expansion, particularly in the nonprofit and cultural institutional space. And in our case, a very unique hybrid that incorporates law enforcement leadership. Although we will learn much about our honorees, I would personally like to thank Mr. Jordan Kaplan, Christine Devine, and my personal friend, Dr. Earl G. Suthers, for their extraordinary leadership in their respective fields and for positioning themselves as admirable leaders that embody values and service-based leadership. Your commitment to the department builds stronger bridges for us to cross in the intersection between law enforcement and our communities. I would also like to recognize all of you and your collective generosity in this room. Your incredible support is the cornerstone of our success. It's your belief in our mission and in our honorees that allows us to dream bigger, reach higher, and achieve more. To our active officers in the room, I am deeply moved by your commitment to the profession and to your history. Mark my words, I am committed to you in representing the history you continue to build every time you put on the badge. And as we look forward, let us carry forward the legacy of Jack Webb. Where's Miss Opal? I am so stunned by her. We're carrying forward the legacy of Jack Webb, whose portrayal of the LAPD captured the hearts and imaginations of millions. We want Jack Webb's dedication and his authenticity and respect for law enforcement be a guide as we continue to build a museum that serves as a beacon of honor, education, and inspiration. Before I close, I want to again acknowledge Cher Lilico and Proper Image, the incredible staff that made this evening a success. If we can please give them another round of applause. And I want to extend my deepest gratitude to every single one of you. Your presence tonight is a commitment and a testament to preserving a vital piece of not just LAPD, but of Los Angeles' history. Thank you so much. And right now, I'd like to call our chairman back to the mic for a very special surprise in our program tonight. Bob?
One, keep eating. And two, if I can ask Chief Moore to come up on the stage. So it's my pleasure at this point to introduce this fearless supporter of the museum. Over 40 years on the police department. We know he'll be leaving as soon as role as chief of police, but we hope that he'll continue with his support to the museum. And we'll see him in the future events. So please welcome Chief Moore, our 57th Chief of Police.
So Chief doesn't know this, but we're also honoring him with a Jack Webb Award tonight, so.
Erica and Bob, thank you. I'm humbled by this. When we think about policing in America, you cannot, no matter what generation you're from, not understand the importance of Jack Webb and the critical impact he had on the lives, even today, of an American cop. So to have this award, and I want to recognize Margot Armbruster, who's one of the Jack Webb awardees, and if other Jack Webb awardees, if you could please stand and be recognized. This is a tremendous, tremendous award. Let's give them a hand. Jimmy, thank you. So I came up here tonight to welcome you to this wonderful ceremony, this wonderful awards dinner. I want to thank each of our awardees. I want to just briefly say a few things about the critical importance of our museum. In American policing, there's some 17,000 law enforcement agencies from coast to coast, making up more than 700,000 men and women who go to work each day doing what I believe is the hardest job in America. That the process of them entering a career and going through the times and turmoils of it is chronicled every day, it seems, in criticism. And not often enough do we bring attention to the heroism, to the sacrifice, to the dedication, and to the families that that these men and women leave home from each day, and for what they give. The museum is an opportunity unique in America for a police station that has been a historical landmark to serve as our museum. That station was built in 1925. It was then known as the Eagle Rock Station. It later became the Northeast area, and is actually the first police station I walked into in 1982 when I conducted, and I was a young recruit, and we did at the time these quote-unquote 3-day ride-alongs. and it was working. That's how old I am. It was still working then. It would later be closed in 1983, and in 2001, under the leadership of a small group of determined individuals, it became the home of the Los Angeles Historical Society, later the Los Angeles Police Museum. If you have not been there, I want to encourage you to find an opportunity to go. You'll walk through a station that is filled with our history, more than 150 years, both the good and the bad, which is really critical that we recognize and acknowledge. I spoke with someone earlier about history and policing, and there's a famous quote by John Timoney, who retired from Miami as their chief and earlier had worked with Bill Bratton in NYPD. And it goes something like, those who forget history are bound to repeat it. And anyone who knows police officers know we don't study history. So this is an opportunity for us not to forget history. And I'm proud that in this last year, we now have incorporated the museum where every police recruit spends a morning there, and to see the exhibits and to understand a little bit about our history. Certainly within months after that, they graduate and they're working the streets of Los Angeles that are filled with that history. So it's an opportunity for them to also understand that the badge they wear, the uniform they go about their work in, is one that is steeped in much success, the finest law enforcement agency in America, but also times in which we have made our mistakes. And in that totality, the hopes is that they go out with a little more pride, but also some humility. So as I close, thank you for the opportunity tonight to say a few words. I'll be back up here to introduce one of our awardees, a man I have a great deal of respect for, and I'm fortunate to have his leadership as a member, as a president of our Board of Police Commissioners. But let me say also, this is an award that wasn't expected. I've always admired it for what it stands for, and I'll cherish it forever. God bless you all. I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Chief. And now we are going to take a short break for dinner service. But we wanted to let you know you only have 20 minutes left to bid in the silent auction. So head out there now and enjoy your dinner with some wonderful Madalena and Highlands 41 wine donated by San Antonio Winery. Enjoy dinner, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. The Los Angeles Police Museum is very involved in its community and spends a lot of time working with the youth. Tonight, we have a very special performance for you with Shea Luna and the Found Singers. But first, Bob Alanis would like to say a few words before we bring them out.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the meal. At this time, we're going to do a special presentation. And this presentation is actually dedicated to our honorees. The museum, as an organization, we try to figure out how we can So as an organization, we decided to come up with something that we can really honor our honorees. And I think we nailed it with the performance that you're about to see. So before I really talk about that, I want to talk a little bit about something that I experienced as a police officer in the mid-'90s, and that was working with Jane Goodall. So Jane Goodall started a program where she's mentoring kids, and she had this idea, and she presented it to myself, to Steve Margolis, who's here in the audience, and I was, at that time, the Community Relations Sergeant out of Southwest Division. And working with this iconic woman, it's such an impression to me, it was unbelievable. But it touched all of those that are involved, and including, we have Captain Whiteman, Ryan Whiteman, who's here, Amada Tingarides, a fabulous woman. But the inspiration to work with our youth came from that moment. And ever since then, I've just admired people that did those kind of things. So tonight, our honorees are at that level where they spend time with the youth, spend time mentoring people, spend time making a difference and helping people that are lost in their lives, people who need a little help and direction. And so the word found came to my mind. And so with Shaya, who is going to perform tonight, she's a great, talented writer, songwriter. She came up with something which I think exemplifies what these honorees are about. Kaplan, the things that you do for the youth, our community is unbelievable. I'm so impressed with you. And the things that you do touches the lives of these individuals that you probably don't even know. So as you go on your life and you're being successful, being able to take the time out to do something like that, that's significant. And that's a magnificent thing that people can do, to give to others as they themselves receive. And I see that the same thing with Christine Devine and her Wednesday Child program. Her dedication towards these foster kids and helping them and finding their way is unbelievable. And also with Dr. Southers, you know, and his mentorship and helping people. As he succeeds, he helps other people succeed. So we came up with this song that you're going to see, and I think we've captured the essence of what they do. I hope that you are inspired and touched the way I was touched when I saw the final production of this show. So we're going to give the Emmys a run for the show. And with that, I'm introducing Shaya and the kids.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Shaya Luna and the Found Singers.
I keep moving when nobody knows me. Always restless, needing to stay busy. Where's the feather to remind me to believe? In the dark, the questions come knocking. In the dreams, the answers come running. Break me out, no more circles, I'm ready. Show me the way. I found the colors of me. I found the magic of me. I found the essence, unforgettable eyes to my soul. I found the colors of me. I found the magic of me. I found the essence, unforgettable eyes to my soul. I keep asking, looking for direction, always looking out for validation. I see the truth now, it's inside of me. I believe. In the dark, the questions come knocking. In the dreams, the answers come running. Break me out, no more circles, I'm ready. Show me the way. I found the colors of me. I found the magic of me. I found the essence, unforgettable lies to my soul. I found the colors of me. I found the magic of me. I found the essence, unforgettable lies to my soul. Not afraid of shadows, only give me textures. Clean the painting, pushing me to anchor. Push out the edges, the work is on my hands. Get a little messy, life's got its demands. No more filters, no airbrush to perfection. Smiling myself, pleasing my reflection. See the big picture, not lost in the details. Swim through the struggle, find the courage to heal. Whoa, I found the colors of me. I found the magic of me. I found the essence to my soul. Whoa, 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 whoa. Unforgettable. Eyes to my soul. I found the essence to my soul. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. LAPD band, thank you so much.
It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce a very special guest. After representing Los Angeles and Culver City for 6 years in the California State Assembly and 11 years in the U.S. House of Representatives, in 2022 she was elected as the first woman to lead our great city. Please welcome the 43rd Mayor of Los Angeles, the Honorable Karen Bass.
Good evening, everyone. This is a wonderful evening, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here and to speak with you for a few minutes. And let me just start by thanking all of the sworn officers that are here, all of the civilians that work day in and day out keeping our city safe. I want to thank you very much on behalf of all Angelenos. So I do have a little responsibility here, but of course I have to deviate a little bit because this is a special evening for a variety of reasons. But I want to start by thanking our current chief. You knew I wasn't going to do this. So I want to thank our current chief, Michael Moore, for his years of service to the LAPD, more than 40 years. Even though I've only been mayor for a year and a month, I've actually worked with Chief Moore for many years because I would call him up whether I was in Washington or whether I was in Sacramento, keeping track with what was going on in our city, especially related to crime and crime trends. But over this past year, working side by side with him, I have seen his passionate commitment to his role in keeping Angelenos safe. And I don't know if you all saw our press conference a couple of weeks ago, but I think it is fitting that in his tenure, homicides and violent crime is down in compared to 2022. And in the middle of a national police recruiting crisis, LAPD saw higher recruitment numbers more in the last couple of months than we've seen in several years. When we experience, that's right, we should clap for that because that is very exciting considering this has been a problem for a while. You saw the rash of smash and grab robberies, the follow-home robberies. Chief Moore went into action immediately and formed a regional task force responding to this. And they have declined now. Now, when you watch TV, you might see them, but not so much in the city of Los Angeles. And over the past year, I think that he helped us prepare for a hurricane, ensure that Angelenos were safe when the 10 freeway was closed, assisted in protecting our unhoused neighbors when a serial killer was on the loose. So this is on top of leading the department in incredibly difficult times, experienced a worldwide pandemic, civil unrest, you name it, and it has happened during your tenure. And as when we were sitting in a meeting yesterday of the general managers, we were all kind of, downloading and debriefing about the storms when we had an earthquake. And we said, with all that Los Angeles has been through, I just want to take a moment. I know you've already acknowledged him, but he has many more acknowledgments to go. I want to acknowledge him. I want to acknowledge Cindy. I don't know if Haley is here, but one of these days I'll have an opportunity to meet her because I know I have an awful lot in common. But please, everyone, one more time, please stand. You stand too, Cindy, come on. You've been with the department for 40 years too. Thank you, everyone. And as the chief's time winds down, you know he is leaving the department in great hands, and I look forward to working with Chief Dominique Choi. Now, I was really pleased to come here when Dr. Suthers told me that he was going to be one of the honorees tonight. I also want to congratulate the other honorees. But I have known Dr. Suthers for many years. He is an internationally renowned expert on law enforcement and safety. He was President Barack Obama's first nominee for transportation for the TSA, Assistant Secretary, appointed by former Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger as Deputy Director for Critical Infrastructure, the Office of Homeland Security, and by Governor Newsom to California's Commission on the State of Hate. He's also served us here at home in LA, formerly serving as the Assistant Chief of Homeland Security and Intelligence at the Los Angeles World Airports Police Department. And he previously enjoyed the distinction of being an FBI special agent and SWAT team member, as well as the Santa Monica police officer. So let me tell you what a resume like it means. It means when something goes down, Dr. Suthers is called. He has testified before a full Congressional Committee on Homeland Security as a subject matter expert on several occasions, including the Boston Marathon bombings. He's a noted counterterrorism expert and security analyst to a variety of media networks, documentary films, lectures, and consults around the world. So let me tell you, it means when something goes down, Dr. Suthers is called, and I called on him many times when I was a member of Congress in Washington, D.C., serving on the Judiciary Committee and focusing on terrorism and violence. Dr. Suthers was called many times by me and members of the committee for his professional expertise. And I was very fortunate when I called USC and asked USC if they would kindly give him more time and allow him to be the president of the Police Commission. So I just want to tell you, Dr. Suthers, that I am very, very appreciative of your willingness to volunteer along with all of your other jobs to serve in this purpose. And I want to thank you and your family for your service, not just to Los Angeles, but really to our country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Now, for our first presentation, please welcome back to the stage the Chief of the Los Angeles Police Department, Michael Moore.
Good evening, everyone. Back again. Can we give Gary a hand? He's been a great MC tonight. He's been patient with us and kept us moving along. Tonight, this is the reason why we're here. Also, I want to thank, I think it was Chris that did the fundraising efforts. The generosity of this room was unmatched. I'm deeply appreciative of each of you who reached into your pockets and raised monies, important funding for this museum and its efforts as we work in our communities to build and deepen trust. Tonight, I have the benefit of introducing our first 2024 Jack Webb awardee. This is a man that Mayor Bass had earlier spoken about and described her relationship. Mayor, by the way, thank you for attending here tonight. I have been to Jack Webb Awards for, well, at least 20 years. You were the first mayor of the city that has come to attend this award. When Mayor Bass was elected into her office as mayor, she ran on a campaign of public safety, of improving this city's sense of safety and its true safety, as well as resolving the terrible epidemic of homelessness. With her arrival, we met the next day after her appointment was confirmed, and she came to my office and we sat down, and I had a list of items and she had a list of items. And it was as if the same person wrote it, because they were in perfect alignment as to the priorities of what it takes to rebuild this organization, to build the technology, the equipment, the staffing, every need that is true and crucial. So thank you, Mayor, for that support. Your first year in office has demonstrated your commitment to the men and women of this department. Now, the first awardee is Dr. Earl Suthers, the president of the Board of Police Commissioners. As Mayor Bass had indicated, I've known this man for nearly 20 years, and you're going to see in a moment a video vignette of him and his background. But what I've known of him is, over the course of time, to be a police professional, to be a man who has given his life of service, and a rarity in that he also became an academic. And sometimes, for those of you who know police officers, books and policing doesn't often work together. But as the USC professor and now an associate senior vice president of safety and risk assurance, he filled and stepped forward in the role of the Board of Police Commissioners president. And what I've seen both in public sessions, if you ever have an opportunity, a Tuesday morning, tune into a Zoom session. It's something out of a Rocky Horror Picture Show, it seems, at times. But he has been a consummate leader, a professional. He's withstood withering criticism, unfair accusations, just needless insults and obscenities. And he's done it with class and style while moving an agenda of this organization forward. Then I've seen him in closed session. And those are sessions in which we go in, and my recommendations to the Board of Police Commissioners speak about an officer's actions in a critical incident such as the use of force, use of deadly force. Speak about the actions of officers involved in other critical instances, and they make their final determination. Not the chief of police, but our citizen community members, Board of Five. And I've seen the excellence of his background as an FBI agent, former Santa Monica police officer, as a Rio Hondo instructor, as a counterterrorism expert, and his first and foremost concern in each of his conversations has been the safety of the officers and the reasonableness of what they set out to do, and the split-second decisions. He has compassion for our people. He knows and has walked the walk of what it takes to be, what I said earlier tonight, engaged in the hardest profession in America. And at the same time, he challenges us to do better as a profession, to continue to grow and act in a manner that builds trust in our communities. And he holds us accountable as well. So I think he's has been a perfect choice by Mayor Bass to join our commission, to now lead that commission. And I couldn't be prouder than to call him not only a colleague, but to call him a friend, because I know that where his heart lies, and it has a heart of service. And so he is deserving, and I'm pleased to direct you to the screens on my left and my right to hear a little bit more about Dr. Earl Suthers.
Dr. Errol Suthers is a lifelong public servant and academic. He is currently the president of the Los Angeles Board of Police Commissioners and the University of Southern California's Associate Senior Vice President of Safety and Risk Assurance, where he leads public safety efforts for the entire university. His law enforcement career began with the Santa Monica Police Department. Dr. Suthers was the first Santa Monica officer to be appointed to the Rio Honda Police Academy faculty and tactical staff. He went on to serve as an FBI special agent in foreign counterintelligence, terrorism, and SWAT, while working as an undercover agent in 2 classified undercover operations during his career. He completed his uniformed career as an assistant chief of police at the Los Angeles World Airport Police Department, the nation's largest airport police department, commanding Homeland Security and intelligence. Following the LAX Police Department, Dr. Suthers was President Barack Obama's first nominee for Assistant Secretary of the Transportation Security Administration and was appointed by Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Deputy Director in the California Office of Homeland Security and by Governor Gavin Newsom to the California Commission on the State of Hate. Dr. Suthers also holds academic counterterrorism and security positions around the world. Dr. Suthers is also the Managing Director of Counterterrorism and Infrastructure Protection for the international consulting firm Tall Global and served as Assistant Vice President of Visitor and Protective Services at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, the nation's 4th largest museum. At USC, he developed the Executive Program in Counterterrorism in the Saul Price School of Public Policy. While teaching at the USC Price School, he earned the 2014 Outstanding Doctoral Award, was named the 2013 and 2014 Outstanding Adjunct Professor of the Year, and was presented the 2018 Saul Price School Robert Biller Outstanding Faculty Award and the Earl Warren Outstanding Public Service Award. He was recognized in Security Magazine's Top 25 Most Influential Industry Thought Leaders in the United States and is a recipient of the ADL 2023 Helene and Joseph Sherwood Prize for Combating Hate. His career highlights also include authoring Homegrown Violent Extremism, a definitive academic study of domestic terrorism threats, as well as numerous congressional testimonies, including the Boston Marathon bombings hearing. His writing has been published in outlets such as USA Today, the Newark Star-Ledger, and the LA Times, and he remains a frequent contributor to regional and national news outlets. He has also appeared in several TV programs, including the History Channel's America's Book of Secrets, the FBI, Bravo Television's Spy Games, and CNN's The 90s. Dr. Suthers earned his undergraduate degree from Brown University, holds master's and doctoral degrees in public policy from USC, and is a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Dr. Errol Suthers, lifelong public servant and academic.
Please welcome to the stage Dr. Earl G. Suthers.
Good evening. Thank you, Chief. And thank you, Erica, the Los Angeles Police Museum Board, men and women of Los Angeles Police Department, my colleagues, my friends, my Trojan family, and most importantly, my incredible wife and daughter who are here this evening. So just a few words. I want to start by saying that compilation that was so brilliantly presented by my dear friend Jonathan Schwartz and the Hedden brothers at the Saul Price School of Public Policy, and Cheryl Lilico, who worked with the museum to put it together. That basically was a compilation of a journey that I still enjoy, and I owe it all to two people who made me what I am today, and that's my parents. Because were it not for them for instilling in me the importance of education, the value of consistent hard work, and the realization that the playing field may not always be a level one, I wouldn't be in a position to contribute to those efforts that afford me the privilege to be here tonight amongst this evening's honorees. So if I've had occasion to speak to you before tonight, you've already heard this story about my upbringing and what brought me to this point, about how I had no desire to become a police officer, about how often I was the brunt of police misconduct, about complaining about that misconduct to my father so many times that frustrated, he finally looked at me one day and said, "You know what? You can't change the castle from outside the moat." So 44 years later and 3 law enforcement agencies later, here I am. And who was I to complain? When I think of the people who came before me, my challenges were a speed bump on the road of life compared to some others. In fact, Steven Spielberg once said, "History is its own reminder of how bad things can get." How appropriate that tonight's event is hosted by the Los Angeles Police Museum, an institution that chronicles the beginnings of the department, where we came from, and identifying those whose broad shoulders we stand upon. So allow me to profile a few of those LAPD officers who look like me for the purposes of recognizing their accomplishments and their sacrifice. First, I want to thank my good friend UCLA Chief John Thomas for We do play well together. I often have to remind people that despite my allegiance to the Trojan family, we have a great city here. We've got a UCLA basketball team that has 11 national championships and a USC football team that has 11 national championships, so we've got it all. But I want to thank Chief Thomas for educating me during his successful quest, supported by Chief Moore, to reinstate Robert William Stewart, whose image you've probably seen outside. If you didn't know, he's a formerly enslaved man who became LAPD's and possibly the state of California's first black police officer. Displayed on the wall outside of my commission office door is a photo of Officer Charles Williams, the first African-American officer in LAPD history to lose his life in a line of duty, shot during a vice investigation. And most importantly, Jess Brewer, who was the highest-ranking African-American in the department when he retired as assistant chief and the first former police officer appointed to serve on the Board of Police Commissioners. So commencing this year, thanks to Erica Arias and her staff, every Police Recruit Academy class tours the museum to learn about those heroes, the famous incidents and cases that define the history of this department and our city. Erica, thank you. Words cannot express my honor in being the second former police officer appointed to serve as a commissioner in its 124-year history, accompanied by the distinction of being appointed by the first woman to be elected mayor of our great city, Mayor Karen Bass. And Mayor, thank you again so much. And I would be remiss if I didn't say this, and coincidentally that I was selected to my position at USC as an Associate Senior Vice President by Dr. Carol Folt, the first woman to be appointed president in the history of our university. So I'd like to thank both of them for their confidence and support as I navigate these roles during a very challenging time in our country, our city, and on our campuses. I've been very fortunate to have the parents, friends, mentors, colleagues that got me to where I am today. But I often have to tell people there's no other country in the world where a kid who grew up in a small town in New Jersey could even dream about the experiences that I've had. With that, just allow me to close by saying this. I've never had a job, but I have had a responsibility. And in the words of Winston Churchill, this is not the end. It's not the beginning of the end, and it certainly is the end of the beginning. Thank you all for your time, for your service, and the honor of receiving this prestigious award. I really appreciate it. And Chief, thank you for your service, all the years you've been with us and making this department what it is today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Southers. After a 35-year career with the Los Angeles Police Department, working her way up from police officer to captain, she retired from LAPD's Central Traffic Division in 2016. To make our next presentation, please welcome to the stage a good friend of our next honoree, Captain Ann Young.
Good evening. There used to be a time I used to be able to hurdle those steps up there, but those days are kind of behind me now. And I want to just make a correction. I am retired, and I am enjoying my retirement to the fullest, so thank you all. I'm very proud and happy tonight to introduce a dear friend of mine. I'm going to tell you a personal story after I discuss Christine Devine. Christine Devine has been advocating for children in foster care to find permanent families through adoption for over 30 years. Yes, thank you. She does this through her weekly segment entitled Wednesday's Child. Those children are sometimes the hidden figures in our community. Many times people don't even think about our foster kids that are kind of tucked away somewhere. Through Christine's advocacy, she tries to match a child's dream for the future with an occupation that they've been dreaming about. She reminds them that their current situation will not be their future situation. She introduces these children to various occupations that suit their interests. Many of these children have actually toured the Los Angeles Police Department. One child that I know actually sat in the chief's chair. We knew you probably wouldn't mind. The look on the child's face was priceless. If you're not familiar with the segment Wednesday's Child, it usually focuses on children who face more challenges finding appropriate families, simply due to their age, their membership in a sibling group because of the trauma they have already experienced through abuse, physical abuse, being thrown away and cast aside. Christine's example has encouraged others in our community to participate and embrace the current and former foster children who've experienced the foster care system due to no fault of their own. They find themselves in this situation, and sometimes they don't even realize why they're there. Christine is their beacon of light. She shines that light so brightly that all children just gravitate to her. Beyond being a voice for the foster care system, Christine is a fierce advocate for women's issues. She yearly answers the call by the Los Angeles Police Department to be our MC at our Women's Leadership Conference, which, that's right, give her accolades. That conference is well attended by women across our state. Current leaders and future leaders attend. She also answers the call to be an MC for the Association of Black Law Enforcement Executives annual luncheon. She's committed to the unhoused and those who deserve justice from society as reflected in the stories she brings awareness to with her newscasts. I think I'm going to stop there because I want you all to really learn about Christine through the video. And then I'll tell you a personal story, and then we'll have Christine come forward.
A news story is so often measured in seconds and a newscast by its story count. But for Fox 11's Christine Devine, her story as a journalist is one that spans a lifetime. Born in upstate New York and raised in Arizona, Christine is an alumnus of Arizona State University. For the past 30 years, Fox 11's Christine Devine has covered local news in Southern California, rising through the ranks first as a weekend anchor and reporter, and then as Fox 11's 5 and 10 p.m. anchor, making her one to watch.
How hard is it to be a police officer right now? In tonight's Holiday Heroes, an LAPD officer who returned to work where he grew up. Harbor area with $20,000 in community donations got food to people in need. The uniform and all, Tillman took to the dance floor with the school dance team. This video a hit on social media. The Los Angeles Police Museum. We've taken you there before. This benefits the Police Museum. Why is this important? What is LAPD baseball?
We put on youth events to bring police officers, baseball, and youth together through America's favorite pastime.
What's your team? 1, 2, 3. LAPD!
Christine continues to pour her heart and soul into sharing stories of her community she calls home. But it's Christine Devine's dedication to Wednesday's Child that she holds dear. A weekly segment on Fox 11 that spanned the course of more than 25 years. Her passion has helped her shine a positive light and share the stories of kids in LA's foster care system. To date, Wednesday's Child has helped more than 500 kids find their forever families, some of whom Christine still keeps in touch with to this day, giving back to her alma mater, providing scholarships to the next generation of journalists. Christine is setting an example as a mentor while proving that her Hall of Fame title at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism isn't just well-deserved, but also a beacon that many young journalists can aspire to achieve themselves. A 16-time Emmy winner, a recipient of the Governor's Award, a Lifetime Achievement Golden Mike honoree, and an honorary doctorate recipient from Cal State LA. Christine Devine has shown time and time again that her story and impact is still ongoing. A sincere congratulations to Fox 11's Christine Devine.
Yes, a remarkable human being. You know, we just came out of the pandemic a few years ago, maybe. During that time, it was such a time of uncertainty. We received calls from our family and friends, and you can see how busy Christine is. She's doing a lot of things for a lot of people. And I never thought in a million years, I knew we were friends, but I never thought that I would receive phone calls during the pandemic from Christine Devine. Phone calls, text messages, "Ann, do you need anything? Can I go shopping for you?" And I'm thinking, I should be going shopping for you. But she called and just extended herself to me, and that is something that I will never, ever forget. And I just want to thank Christine for that. So one more surprise. In 2021, California State University, Los Angeles School of Social Work recognized Christine's commitment to those in our community that do not and still do not have a voice, and awarded Christine Devine with an honorary doctorate, the Doctor of Humane Letters. So at this time, I want us to give Christine a warm welcome not Christine anymore, is Dr. Christine Devine.
Judge Ito with memories of Baker to Vegas that I used to MC back in the day. My girl Christina causing too much trouble there, couldn't do that anymore. Thank you so much. How crazy is this to have a member of the media honored by law enforcement? Okay, that's crazy, right? Truth is, I come from a family of public servants. My grandfather, a volunteer firefighter. My stepfather was in the Army, and then in the Peace Corps in Tanzania, where Jane Goodall does all her work. Became a high school principal with an emphasis on ROTC. My mother was an elementary school teacher, foster parent, adoptive parent, and in the Peace Corps in South America. My Brazilian father, whom I just met last month for the first time, served in the Air Force there. As a journalist, we can't help but carry those stories with us. It's always been my goal to come to Los Angeles and to listen, even to the sides with whom we do not agree. I take this opportunity to say thank you so much and to talk about foster youth. It kind of was a story I was asked to cover. I don't know if my news director at the time even knew that my parents were foster and adoptive parents. And Wednesday's Child became what it is today, 30 years later. I want to thank the museum, who is the beneficiary of your donor dollars today, for being an open door for 30 years to youth experiencing foster care. We did a story just last Wednesday at the museum with a 16-year-old who wanted to work in the area of mental health. So we were paired up with LAPD's Mental Evaluation Unit. He wanted to work in mental health because members of his own family are struggling with mental health, and whom amongst us can't say we have the same? My own adopted brother ended up in prison 3 times and died of a drug overdose. I do every story with him in mind. I came to LA in 1990 by way of small town America. And this year, Black History Month has really taken on a new chapter and new lesson for me in meeting my father. I had visions of going to this emerging economy, this third world country, with the visions of what you might think of as a third world country to be. And since this is Black History Month, I want to talk about slavery for just a minute because I'm learning so much about my own history. We think of 400,000 Africans brought to America to be enslaved. In Brazil, that number is 4 million. My father's grandfather, the son of a slave. But I learned of this incredible family's story, and I thought, coming from LA and Hollywood, I was going to be the big deal there. I learned of my cousin, who's my father calls his sister, who was in the Brazilian film Black Orpheus in 1960 that won the Oscar for Best International Film. She died in August at the age of 90, the day she was to receive Lifetime Achievement at the Brazilian Oscars. My photo was sent to my new little brother the day of her memorial service. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I've got the community service stuff. They'll be really proud of me. You want your dad to be proud of you. I thought the community service would make him proud, only to learn that my cousin's husband, who had been exiled, was considered the father of black theater in Brazil, exiled during a coup, became a scholar here in America, was able to come back years later, became a senator, and was nominated twice for a Nobel Peace Prize. When I was there visiting for the first time last month, he was named a national hero by President Lula. So I'm thinking, how do I live up to that? So the neat thing for me this year is that I got to be just a daughter, to be a daddy's little girl for the first time in my life. And because my father speaks zero English for the most part, all Portuguese, I really sat there like a child. And so I thought about the song today that we heard from the young people, The Magic of Me. And for me, the magic of me is I just got to be me. It wasn't Christine Devine, Fox 11 News. They've never seen Fox 11 in Los Angeles. I just got to be a little girl. And when I went there to meet my dad, we barely spoke the language. He just stared at my hands because he saw his hands in me. And when I got off the plane, I have one little brother now. His son said to me, "You look more like him than me." So the magic of me is I got to be just me. And that's a lesson for us all. Thank you.
Congratulations, Christine. Our next guest probably doesn't need an introduction. He's a sports icon, an Olympic champion and Hall of Famer, philanthropist, and author, and has established a legacy that epitomizes boxing and invokes the reverence of a champion. He also founded and helms the Sugar Ray Leonard Foundation. Please welcome Sugar Ray Leonard.
You know, that was not fair because that music almost made me get back in the ring. Thank you. I love you too, guys. I'm going to keep this thing short and sweet, okay? And I think of a special recipient to receive the 2024 Jack Webb Award. And also, I'm here because I simply care. Thank you, thank you. And, you know, I've known Jordan for, 13, 14, 15 years. And I go to his house to work out, to stay in shape, because I'm 67 years old now. No, I'm a blessed man, no question about that. I've been a fighter now for, 50 years, and I've came out of that ring safe, okay. But, you know, I've had nothing short of an illustrious boxing career. Made a huge impact. But you know what? The reason I'm here also is the fact that I want to make even a larger impact outside the boxing ring by helping people, particularly kids. My wife told me, because she wears the pants in the family. No, she doesn't. She doesn't, no. Well, I can see it now. But I feel so good being here, guys. You guys have no idea how much you inspire me, motivate me, because I want to be known, not just a champ, but the champ outside the ring. I'm trying to really maintain here because I'm very emotional. I really am. So what I heard, I mean, in fact, I want to come here every time. Is this an annual thing or what? Huh? No, I'm going to come back, no question about that. Yeah. So, but I want you to see something else, though. I want you to check out the screen, because I want to show you guys some videos.
Hey, Jordan, you have always been a man that have run towards doing the right thing and supporting the people of this city that are trying to make our city even better, safer, and more livable. There's no honor that can be given to you that could actually match all that you have done.
So Jordan was instrumental in finding a way to financially support our police cadet program. This program has generated some of the best police department employees that gets young people interested in public service, and to date has generated tremendous police officers.
He's someone who's passionate about the community and about safety. I gave him a tour of West Los Angeles, the station itself, and he really just thought that he wanted to do something that would impact the officers on a regular basis. Jordan's donation and his partner's donation, Ken Panzer, really were instrumental in buying new flooring, new tables and chairs, new audio equipment, new television, whiteboards, but also a force option simulator. That's a system where officers go through different scenarios. It's really going to expand the officer's ability to articulate and to think about the situations that they're involved in on a regular basis.
Well, I was fortunate enough to meet Mr. Kaplan approximately 2 years ago. We discussed helping us with the Youth Boxing Academy here for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. And as you can see behind me, with the help of his funding, the boxing program hopefully is going to grow and help all the youth in the community. So I introduced Mr. Kaplan to the Hollenbeck Youth Center, and without any hesitation, he just decided to help. What's great about it is that it's not one specific thing that goes on at the youth center. They have a boxing program, they have a karate program, they have basketball, they have baseball, softball, different sports. There's a place for kids to go instead of just being around the streets or being home alone.
So we have a debt of gratitude on behalf of the city of Los Angeles and all the residents that I know. We're so grateful for your generosity, your kindness, your intellect, and your wisdom, and not only your resources, but your advice and counsel to LAPD and everything it's trying to do, and even in the broader community of Los Angeles.
Jordan, thank you again for your friendship and your support of the Santa Monica Police Department. We sincerely appreciate you.
You've been an incredible partner in the community and a true friend to all of the police in the area.
From the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate all of Mr. Kaplan's contributions. Without his assistance, there's no way this would ever happen.
Thank you, Mr.
Yeah. Jordan, please come to the stage to accept your award.
Thank you, Ray. What a sweet guy. And everyone here, I got to tell you, I kind of wrote something, but I'm sitting here thinking, I'm watching a family. And I don't, honestly, I'm thinking to myself, why am I here? I feel like I'm watching a game or something, and they pulled someone out of the stands, and they said, well, you're just such a great clapper. Come on and just come on in. You know. I mean, obviously, I like to thank the directors of the museum and all the people that make all of this happen for the LAPD, because that's why I'm here. In particular, I'd also like to thank Craig Lawley, who introduced me to the opportunity and being here. I don't think I'm very different from the police because I don't study a lot of history either, but I do know how to look things up on Wikipedia. And I looked it up and I saw that 9,000 officers are responsible for 4 million residents here in our city. And to put that in perspective, imagine one adult responsible for an entire elementary school, right? I mean, I'd be calling for backup. And, you know, I'm going to say, because a lot of people here know me, that, you know, they know that I believe that speakers should be funny or they should be booed off the stage. And by the way, it's also not smart to talk about politics with armed guests. But I know I'm here. I'm here because I'm a fan of the LAPD and all of the police departments in our area. And I'm constantly amazed by the things that they do. And I'll tell you, it was hard for me to really put something together that was funny because what I saw happening was not funny. And when you go back and I saw a political movement pushing to defund the police, I heard that phrase for the first time in 2020, and I thought it was a joke. I thought, we just need to defund the police and stop enforcing the law, and then crime will go down because fewer people will go to jail? I guess that means that we also have the solution to the high cost of medical care because we just need to defund the hospitals and stop treating patients. This really bothered me. And I know that's why I'm here, and that's what you saw up there, because I talked to my partner, Ken Panzer, and I said, this 100% does not work for us. And by the way, I'm a developer, so I'm accustomed to that kind of logic. I mean, no matter what a developer does, he's always the bad guy, right? You learn at a very young age. You learn that because you watch Scooby-Doo, and it's an evil developer that's always the culprit. But I never imagined the police would descend in popularity to the ranks of developers. So you know, what did we do? You want to know what we did when we heard people start saying defund the police? At Douglas Emmett, we said, even in a louder voice, in an even louder voice, we're going to fund the police. And that's the stuff you saw there. We wanted to make sure we stood by that statement. And so we provide the funding to rebuild the West LAPD call room, and we provide the funding to rebuild for drones for the Special Enforcement Bureau. And we provided funding to restart the cadet program in Santa Monica. And we provided funding at SWAT headquarters for a new boxing gym and the Youth Mentoring Center. And we provided funding for law enforcement personnel in Compton, South Los Angeles, Hollenbeck, and the High Desert to operate their youth activities leagues. And by the way, I know that another reason I'm here is we're not shy about providing funding for political campaigns that support our police and make our communities safer. Politicians float on the tide. I'm sorry, I know there's a number of them here. But we all live here and know how important the police are to the health of our communities. So from one of the biggest fans, which is all we are, we're fans. This is a family, this is an impressive family, and I know how Ray felt because my chest was tight listening to the people that are being honored here, and I said, boy, I don't even know if I should be going on that stage. But for one of the police's biggest fans, I want to thank all of you for joining all of us at Douglas Emmett in our mission to fund the police. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we made it. Congratulations to all of tonight's honorees, and thank you for all you do for Los Angeles. My personal thanks to every police officer here, current and retired, for protecting and serving. Thanks to all of you for joining us, and I know the board members and museum staff would welcome you to tour the museum at any time, so please put that on your agenda. Check it out. You won't be disappointed. Do stop by the valet table in the lobby to order up your car. And don't forget to see the folks at the auction tables in the lobby to pay for or pick up your items in the silent or live auction. So I was very honored to be here tonight. Thank you for having me. It's time to say goodnight to everyone. Please drive safe. We hope to see you next year. And good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.